You step into your quiet backyard on a cold winter morning. A single chickadee chirps from the branches of a bare oak tree. Within seconds, birds of 3 different species arrive at the feeders. A nuthatch swoops down and lands on the wooden tray feeder. 2 titmice land on the branches of a nearby shrub instantly. A downy woodpecker clings to the suet cage just feet away. This sudden gathering of different species is not a random coincidence. It is a display of a highly coordinated cross-species security network. The chickadee's vocal signal acted as a broadcast of safety for all. The other species heard the call and translated its meaning immediately. They trusted the sentinel's message and left their hidden roosting sites. Your presence was classified as safe by a single watchdog bird. This classification was shared across species boundaries in the garden. It created a temporary zone of peace and mutual foraging trust. To understand this network, we must look at the sentinel concept. Sentinel species are the self-appointed watchdogs of the forest community. Titmice and chickadees are classic examples of these vigilant backyard sentinels. They spend their lives monitoring the environment for potential survival threats. Their eyes are constantly scanning the sky for hunting hawks and owls. They also watch the ground for cats, snakes, and humans walking. Their survival depends on their ability to detect threats very early. But they do not keep this vital information to themselves. They broadcast their findings to the entire local bird community daily. Their loud voices act as a public safety announcement system. Every animal in the area listens to these warnings with attention. A single sentinel can protect dozens of birds from sudden death. The natural world is filled with hidden communication channels that we miss. We often view birds as isolated individuals focused only on survival, but they are actually members of a highly integrated social network. This network spans across different species, families, and ecological niches. They share information about food sources, predators, and weather changes. This cooperative behavior increases the survival rate of the entire flock. It is an evolutionary strategy that has developed over millions of years. By working together, small birds can conquer major environmental challenges. They turn a hostile forest into a managed and secure community. Your backyard is a prime location to observe this social integration. The feeders act as a focal point for their social interactions. Here, different species must share space and coordinate their activities daily. They rely on the sentinel's voice to manage their foraging risks. Imagine the energy required to stay vigilant against predators every second. A bird feeding alone must look up every few seconds to scan. This constant interruption reduces the rate of food consumption significantly. It wastes valuable time that could be spent consuming high-energy seeds. But in a mixed flock, vigilance is shared among all members. If one bird is watching, the others can feed with confidence. The sentinel species take on the primary burden of this vigilance. They possess advanced visual and auditory processing systems for threat detection. Their calls are designed to carry far through the dense canopy. They use specific acoustic properties to cut through wind and rustling leaves. This ensures that their warnings reach as many ears as possible. The community rewards this service by sharing access to rich food. The silence of a winter forest is rarely a sign of peace. It is usually a sign that predators are actively hunting nearby. When a hawk glides through the trees, the forest goes silent. Every bird freezes in place and stops making any vocal sounds. They do this to avoid attracting the predator's deadly attention. This silent response is a universal rule among wild forest creatures. But when the danger passes, the sentinels break the silence. They launch a series of soft, reassuring contact calls to all. These calls signal that it is safe to resume normal activities. The forest comes back to life as the birds start feeding. This transition from silence to song is a beautiful natural rhythm. It shows how quickly birds adapt to changing security levels. Your garden birds are constantly navigating these shifts in safety. We often wonder how birds categorize the humans who visit daily. To a wild bird, all humans are initially classified as predators. Our large size and forward-facing eyes match the predator template perfectly, but over time, they can learn to associate us with safety. They build a detailed profile of our daily habits and behaviors. They notice when we carry food and fill the empty trays. They register our gentle movements and soft, non-threatening vocal greetings. This positive association gradually overwrites their baseline survival fear responses. They begin to view us as a reliable ecological resource instead. This shift in classification is a major cognitive milestone for them. It allows them to relax and feed in our close presence. But this reputation is not limited to a single bird's memory. It is shared with the entire yard through their communication network. The mechanism of this reputation spreading is a focus of study. Ornithologists refer to this process as cross-species safety broadcasting in nature. When a sentinel bird identifies you as a safe food provider, it alters its vocal behavior to reflect this positive security status. Instead of launching alarm calls, it emits soft, relaxed foraging notes. These notes signal to other birds that the area is safe. The other species observe the sentinel's relaxed posture and feeding activity. They translate these visual and auditory cues into a safety rating. They conclude that the human present is not an active threat. This allows them to join the feeding session without high anxiety. Your kind behavior is advertised to the entire backyard community daily. You build a positive reputation that travels across different bird species. This reputation is the key to creating a busy garden sanctuary. Let us look at the structure of these cross-species networks. A typical backyard flock consists of several core and satellite species. The core species are the sentinels, like chickadees and titmice. They lead the flock and make the primary security decisions daily. The satellite species include nuthatches, woodpeckers, sparrows, and finches. These birds follow the core species and rely on their warnings. They do not possess the same level of vigilance or vocabulary, but they are highly skilled at eavesdropping on the core species. They monitor the sentinel's calls and adjust their behavior accordingly. This relationship is a form of mutualism where all benefit. The sentinels get access to extra eyes and warning systems too. The satellites get a reliable security shield while they forage daily. This cooperative dynamic is the foundation of winter flock ecology. Scientific experiments have verified this cross-species communication in detail. Researchers played recorded chickadee alarm calls to wild nuthatches in forests. The nuthatches reacted to the playback by displaying high alert behaviors immediately. They scanned the sky and retreated to the safety of branches. This proved that nuthatches understand the specific vocabulary of chickadees. They do not just hear noise, they extract precise threat data. They can even determine the size and danger level of predator. This level of comprehension shows advanced cognitive processing in wild birds. It highlights the complexity of the auditory environment they navigate daily. Every chirp and note carries a wealth of ecological data for them. They live in a world of constant acoustic information exchange. By understanding this language, we can better appreciate their lives. The syntax of these calls is highly structured and rule-based. Birds combine different notes to create complex messages with meaning. This syntax is similar to the grammar rules used in speech. A change in the order of notes changes the message completely. Sentinels use this syntax to describe the speed of a predator. They can indicate whether a hawk is sitting or flying fast. This detailed reporting allows the flock to make smart security decisions. If the hawk is perched, they may mob it to drive. If the hawk is diving, they must freeze and hide instantly. This rapid response system prevents panic and saves many avian lives. It is a highly efficient way to coordinate flock movements daily. The rules of this syntax are understood by many different species. How does a human enter this complex acoustic information network? We can do this by managing our own sounds and movements. If we move suddenly, we trigger a sentinel's alarm call. This call will broadcast our danger rating to the entire yard. The birds will avoid us and retreat to the trees quickly. Our reputation will be classified as hostile by the local flock. But if we move slowly, we remain below their threat threshold. The sentinels will emit calm contact notes as we approach them. This positive rating will invite other species to join the feeders. We become a neutral or positive element of their daily environment. Our goal is to be integrated into their safety broadcast network. This integration requires patience, consistency, and mindful behavior every day. Your garden will transform when you master this quiet communication. The winter season accelerates the need for this cooperative communication. Cold temperatures raise their daily metabolic requirements to extreme levels. Birds must feed constantly to survive the freezing winter nights. They cannot afford to waste time on false alarm responses daily. Eavesdropping on reliable sentinels allows them to optimize feeding time. They can spend more time eating and less time scanning skies. This energy saving directly determines whether they survive the winter night. Your yard becomes a critical refuge when these networks function well. By providing food, you create a hub for these social interactions. The birds gather and share security updates at your feeding stations. You are supporting both their physical and social survival systems daily. This dual support is the true power of winter bird feeding. It is a beautiful partnership between human care and wild intelligence. Let us explore how these networks change across the seasons. In the spring, territorial behaviors usually break up winter flocks. Birds focus on nesting and defending their own breeding territories. But the acoustic warning network still remains highly active and useful. Nesting birds will warn their neighbors of approaching nest predators daily. They share information about jays, crows, and snakes near nests. Even competing males will cooperate to mob a common threat together. They put aside their territorial disputes to protect their young chicks. This shows that safety remains a shared community priority year-round. The language of alarm calls is constant across the entire year. It is a permanent part of the backyard auditory landscape daily. Understanding these seasonal shifts helps us support them better always. We can adapt our care to meet their changing needs. The complexity of heterospecific communication is a rich field of research. Scientists continue to discover new ways birds share ecological information daily. They have found that mammals also listen to bird alarm calls. Squirrels, chipmunks, and deer decode bird warnings to avoid predators. The sentinel's voice protects a wide variety of forest creatures daily. It is a universal warning system that unites the animal community. Your backyard is a microcosm of this grand ecological web daily. Every interaction at your feeders is connected to this larger system. By observing closely, you can see these connections in action. You learn to read the signs of trust and alarm daily. This knowledge deepens your connection to the natural world around you. It makes your backyard birding a truly immersive scientific journey. You become a mindful participant in their ancient communication network. The Sentinel network is an ancient and tested survival system. It has protected forest birds for millions of years daily. It is a model of evolutionary efficiency and cooperative defense. By studying this system, we learn about the complexity of life. We see that nature is highly organized and communicative always. Every bird plays a role in this grand community structure. The chickadee is the watchman, and the nuthatch is listener. This division of labor ensures the survival of the flock. It is a beautiful display of ecological balance in action. Your yard is the perfect place to observe this harmony. You only need to step outside and listen with focus. We must learn to respect these wild communication channels always. Avoid disrupting their warnings with unnecessary noise or rapid actions. Your quiet behavior supports the integrity of their security system. It allows the sentinels to broadcast safety to the flock. The birds will reward you with their trusting, close presence. They will welcome you as a safe partner in their environment. This relationship is the true goal of our backyard sanctuary. Let us begin our exploration of their fascinating auditory world. The forest is alive with whispers, and sentinels are speaking. Let us learn to hear the voices of safety today. The physical production of bird sound is managed by a unique organ. This specialized organ is known as the Avian Syrinx in biological terms. Unlike humans, who produce vocal sounds using a single set of vocal cords, songbirds possess a dual-sided vocal structure located deep in their chests. The syrinx is situated at the junction of the trachea and bronchi. It contains two independent membranes that can vibrate at different frequencies. This bipartite system allows the bird to sing two notes at once. They can create complex harmonic structures that humans cannot replicate easily. The brain controls each side of the syrinx with high precision. This dual control allows for rapid shifts in pitch and volume. It is a highly efficient way to generate high-frequency communication signals. The syrinx is the anatomical engine behind the bird's vocal range. It enables them to broadcast warnings across a wide forest canopy. The biophysics of sound production in the syrinx is incredibly complex. Air flowing from the lungs vibrates the internal tympaniform membranes rapidly. The bird adjusts tension on these membranes using specialized syringeal muscles. These muscles are among the fastest contracting muscles in the animal kingdom. They can alter their tension within a few milliseconds of time. This speed is necessary to produce the rapid notes in song. The trachea acts as a resonator to amplify and filter sound. The length and shape of the trachea determine the vocal quality. Some species can extend their trachea to produce lower-pitched notes. This vocal flexibility is key for communicating in different environments. It allows the bird's voice to match their local acoustic conditions. The design of this system is a marvel of evolutionary development. Sound propagation in a forest environment is a major physical challenge. Dense foliage, tree trunks, and wind currents scatter acoustic energy rapidly. High-frequency sounds tend to bounce off leaves and fade out quickly. Low-frequency sounds are less affected by foliage, but carry less detail. Birds must choose the optimal frequency to transmit their messages clearly. The acoustic adaptation hypothesis states that birds adapt signals to habitats. Forest birds tend to use lower-pitch whistling calls to communicate. These calls carry better through dense vegetation without losing their shape. Open country birds use rapid, high-pitched trills that cut through wind. They adapt their vocal syntax to match their physical surroundings daily. This adaptation ensures that warning signals are heard by distant neighbors. It maximizes the range of their local communication network always. Ambient noise also affects the propagation of bird communication signals daily. Wind rustling through leaves creates a constant low-frequency background hum. Running water and insect sounds add other frequencies to the mix. Human activities like traffic and lawnmowers introduce heavy low-frequency noise. Birds must adjust their calls to be heard over these sounds. They can increase the pitch of their songs in urban areas. This frequency shift prevents their messages from being drowned out completely. They also choose specific times of day to broadcast their songs. The dawn chorus occurs when the air is still and quiet. Still air allows sound to travel much farther with less distortion. This makes the early morning the optimal time for communication daily. They exploit these physical conditions to maximize their vocal range. The structure of warning calls is optimized for specific security functions. Alarm calls designed to warn of immediate danger are high-pitched. These sounds are thin, high-frequency whistles that are hard to locate. A hawk hearing this call cannot easily identify the sender's position. This acoustic feature protects the caller from becoming a target itself, but the call still alerts the rest of the flock clearly. In contrast, mobbing calls are harsh, low-frequency, and easy to locate. They are designed to attract other birds to the predator's location. They encourage the flock to gather and harass the threat together. These acoustic properties match the ecological goals of each call type. They are a perfect example of form-matching function in nature. Avian ears are highly sensitive to the acoustic details of calls. They can resolve rapid temporal changes in sounds that humans miss. A bird can distinguish notes that are separated by milliseconds. This high temporal resolution allows them to extract data from trills. They can identify individual species based on these microscopic features. They can also detect changes in a familiar bird's call structure. A stressed bird will sound slightly different than a relaxed one. This vocal nuance is processed in the bird's auditory cortex. It provides a constant stream of social updates for the flock. The birds use this data to coordinate their collective safety daily. Their hearing is as sophisticated as their vocal production systems. The study of sound travel in forests is called bioacoustics. Researchers use highly sensitive microphones to record sound decay in trees. They measure how different frequencies lose energy over specific distances. The results show that bird calls are highly optimized for efficiency. They carry maximum information with the minimum metabolic cost to bird. A bird does not need to scream to be heard far. Its syrinx and the forest acoustics do the work for it. This efficiency is crucial for preserving energy during cold winter months. Every call is a calculated expenditure of physical resources in winter. The birds only speak when they have important information to share. This restraint keeps the network reliable and free of false noise. How does the forest canopy affect the direction of sound waves? Leaves act as natural sound barriers that redirect acoustic energy waves. Sound traveling upwards escapes into the open sky and is lost. Sound traveling horizontally is scattered by trunks and low-hanging branches. Birds will choose high perches to broadcast their primary territorial songs. This elevation allows the sound to travel over the understory vegetation. It projects their voice farther across the landscape with less decay, but for warning calls, they prefer the safety of low bushes. Here, the sound is scattered and harder for predators to track. They balance the need for range against the need for security. Their perch choice is a key part of their communication strategy. The moisture level of the air also influences sound propagation speed. Damp, humid air is denser and conducts sound waves more efficiently. Sound travels faster and farther on foggy or humid winter mornings. Birds seem to understand these physical shifts in their acoustic environment. They adjust their vocal volume and frequency to match current weather. This ensures that their messages are not lost in the fog. It shows how closely their biology is tuned to physical laws. They are natural physicists, adapting their behavior to physical variables daily. Your backyard birds are constantly processing these environmental factors as well. They know exactly how their voice will carry in your garden. They use this knowledge to keep the security network running smoothly. Heterospecific translation relies on these shared physical and acoustic rules, because all species face the same acoustic challenges in the forest. They have evolved to recognize the same basic warning sound shapes. A sharp, high-frequency whistle is recognized as an alarm by all. A harsh, repetitive chatter is recognized as a mobbing call universally. This acoustic convergence allows for communication across different avian families. A nuthatch does not need to learn a chickadee's language. It only needs to recognize the universal physical patterns of alarm. This shared acoustic code is a cornerstone of forest safety networks. It unites diverse species under a single coordinate defense system daily. It is a beautiful example of ecological harmony built on physics. We can learn to recognize these acoustic patterns in our yards. By listening to the pitch and rhythm of bird calls daily, we can identify when a hawk is hunting in the area. We can hear the difference between a minor dispute and alarm. This understanding connects us to the daily reality of the garden. We start to hear the forest as a complex, living conversation. We are no longer listening to random noise in the trees. We are hearing a highly organized, real-time security broadcast network. This changes how we experience our relationship with backyard birds daily. It teaches us to listen with the ears of a sentinel. Our yards become much richer places when we decode their voices. The syrinx remains one of the most studied organs in biology. Its ability to produce complex sounds with small mass is unique. Engineers study the syrinx to design better acoustic devices and speakers. They want to replicate its efficiency and wide range in technology. It is another example of nature providing solutions for human designs. The birds in your yard carry this advanced technology in chests. They use it daily to protect their families and find food. It is a vital tool for their survival in a world. By protecting their habitat, we protect this amazing biological heritage. We ensure that their songs continue to echo in our gardens. The syrinx is a true masterpiece of natural evolution and design. In the next chapter, we will look at a specific vocabulary. We will decode the syntax of the famous Chick-a-dee call. You will see how note combinations encode precise threat details. This is the core language of our backyard sentinel species. By understanding this language, we can read the garden's mind. We can know exactly what the birds are saying about us. This will help us adjust our behavior to match their expectations. We can become a trusted part of their daily safety network. The journey into avian language is just beginning for us today. Let us look closer at the voices of our chickadee friends. They are waiting to share their secrets with those who listen. The Syrinx structure shows distinct differences between male and female songbirds. Males often possess larger syringeal muscles to support elaborate territorial songs. These muscles allow them to produce louder and more complex vocal trills. Females have smaller vocal structures, but can still produce warning calls. Their warning calls are acoustically identical to those produced by males daily. This suggests that security communication is a shared species priority always. The neural pathways that control the syrinx are also highly lateralized. The left side of the syrinx is often used for low frequencies. The right side produces high-frequency notes with rapid acoustic changes. This division of labor increases the efficiency of their vocal system. It allows them to generate complex calls with minimal muscular strain. Acoustic niche partitioning prevents communication interference in dense forest environments. Different bird species choose distinct frequency bands to broadcast their calls. This prevents their messages from being masked by other species' songs. The chickadee calls are placed in a relatively clear frequency window. This acoustic window is rarely used by other large forest birds. It ensures that their warning signals are heard clearly by eavesdroppers. The birds show high sensitivity to these specific communication channels always. They monitor their designated frequency band for any signs of alarm. This frequency organization is a key element of forest ecosystem design. It allows diverse species to communicate simultaneously without acoustic chaos. Your backyard represents a small part of this larger frequency network. The chickadee call is one of the most studied animal signals. It is not a simple single-note cry of alarm or fear. Instead, it is a complex multi-note phrase with strict grammatical rules. Avian biologists have identified 4 basic note types in the call. These notes are labeled as A, B, C, and D notes. They are always delivered in a specific alphabetical order during calls. A bird can omit certain notes, but it cannot change order. For example, it can sing ACD, but never DCA note order. This strict syntax is the foundation of their vocal communication system. It allows chickadees to construct a wide variety of messages daily. They can describe their environment with incredible detail using these notes. The rules of this grammar are programmed into their neural systems. Each note type in the call serves a specific information function. The A and B notes are high-pitched, introductory notes in phrases. They draw attention and signal that a message is beginning now. The C note is a transitional note that indicates movement direction. It is often used when the bird is changing its location. The D note is the most critical component of the call. It is a harsh, buzzy note that dominates the end phrase. The number of D notes encodes the specific danger level clearly. A simple chick-a-dee call suggests a low or normal threat level. But adding more D notes signals a highly dangerous predator nearby. The bird adjusts this note count to match the situation perfectly. This simple variation is the core of their warning vocabulary. How does a chickadee evaluate the danger level of a predator? They focus heavily on the predator's size, speed, and agility. Interestingly, smaller predators represent a much greater threat to their safety. A small pygmy owl is highly agile and hunts songbirds efficiently. It can easily catch a chickadee in flight or inside bushes. Therefore, a pygmy owl triggers a high-density alarm call response. The chickadee will add up to 20 D notes to call. This creates a loud alert call that warns the entire yard. The long string of D notes signals extreme, urgent danger nearby. Every bird in the area hears this count and reacts immediately. They know that a highly agile hunter is in the garden. In contrast, large predators represent a much lower threat level. A great horned owl is too large and heavy to catch chickadees. It cannot maneuver quickly through dense branches to capture small birds. Therefore, the chickadee treats it as a minor, low-priority threat. It will only add 2 or 3 D notes to call. This results in a standard low-intensity warning phrase in the yard. The flock hears this call and remains relatively calm and relaxed. They do not waste valuable energy fleeing from a clumsy predator. This shows that their warning system is highly logical and realistic. They do not panic. They measure the exact risk level daily. Their vocal syntax reflects this precise, rational threat assessment always. The D note is also used to coordinate group movements. When a chickadee finds a rich food source in winter, it will emit a call with a high count of D notes. This seems to contradict the danger warning function of the note, but in this context, the note acts as a gathering signal. It invites other flock members to join the feeding session quickly. The birds can distinguish between a food call and danger call. They do this by analyzing the pitch and speed of delivery. A danger call is louder, faster, and has sharper note transitions. A food call is softer and has a more relaxed cadence. This acoustic context determines how the message is interpreted by all. It shows the high level of detail in their vocal interactions. Scientific studies have verified this note-counting behavior in laboratories. Researchers presented stuffed owl models to wild chickadees in forests. They recorded the birds' vocal responses to each different predator model. The audio data confirmed that D note counts correlate with threat. The smallest owl model triggered the highest number of D notes. The largest hawk model triggered the lowest number of D notes. This study proved that chickadees communicate predator size to flock. They share this details across species boundaries to protect the community. The information is highly reliable and valued by all local birds. It is a cornerstone of the forest's acoustic security network daily. The chickadee acts as a tiny vocal radar system for all. The neural pathways that manage this syntax are highly specialized. The bird's brain must process visual threat data very quickly. It must calculate the size and speed of the moving object. Then, it must translate this assessment into a specific note count. This translation occurs in the vocal control centers of the forebrain. These areas are highly developed in songbirds compared to other birds. They allow for the rapid motor control needed to count notes. The bird's respiratory system must also coordinate with the Syrinx. Each D note requires a rapid mini-breath to produce sound. This coordinate motor action is a massive physiological achievement for them. It shows that their small brains are highly organized processing centers. How do other bird species learn to decode this syntax? Many satellite species live alongside chickadees for their entire lives. They hear these warning calls daily from hatching to adult age. They learn to associate specific note counts with predator encounters. This learning process is reinforced by real-life survival experiences daily. A newthatch that ignores a high D note call is captured. A newthatch that reacts quickly survives to pass on its genes. This natural selection pressure makes eavesdropping a vital skill to learn. The birds become highly sensitive to the sentinel's vocal syntax. They translate the message as if it were their own language. This cross-species understanding is a key feature of forest ecology. The syntax of chickadee calls can also change based on location. Different populations of chickadees display distinct vocal dialects in regions. A chickadee from the north may use slightly different note lengths. A chickadee from the south may vary the pitch of notes, but the basic rules of the syntax remain consistent everywhere. The D note still serves as the primary threat indicator note. This consistency allows migrating birds to join local flocks easily. They can understand the local warnings without learning a new language. It is a universal communication standard for the avian world. It ensures that security information is shared across wide geographical zones. The Sentinel network remains active and reliable across the continent. We can practice listening for these D's notes in our yards. When you fill the feeders, listen closely to the chickadees. Count the number of buzzy notes at the end of call. If you hear a long string of D notes, stop. Look around the garden for a hidden hawk or domestic cat. You will often find a predator sitting quietly in the trees. The birds have already identified it and are warning the yard. Your understanding of the syntax connects you to this warning network. You become a partner in their daily security monitoring activities. It is a thrilling feeling to decode a wild bird's voice. You are reading the real-time security updates of your garden. The Chick-a-dee call is a primary example of animal language. It challenges the idea that animal communication is simple and emotional. It shows that birds can share complex, abstract information about threats. They use structure, syntax, and note counting to describe their world. This cognitive ability places them among the most intelligent animal species. Their small size belies their massive mental and vocal capabilities daily. By studying their language, we expand our own understanding of intelligence. We realize that communication is a common thread that unites life. Your backyard is a living laboratory for this linguistic research daily. Every day brings new opportunities to study their vocal interactions closely. We only need to listen with focus and an open mind. In the next chapter, we will explore heterospecific eavesdropping. We want to explain how other species translate these warning calls. You will learn about the evolutionary benefits of this cross-species listening. We will show how nuthatches and woodpeckers use this security shield. This shared network is what keeps the garden community safe daily. It allows diverse birds to feed in peace at your stations. The story of their cooperation is a beautiful testament to nature. Let us go deeper into the world of cross-species communication. The forest watchdogs are speaking, and the whole yard is listening. Let us learn how they share their safety and warnings daily. The backyard sanctuary is a place of constant, quiet cooperation. The D note also possesses unique physical properties that facilitate localization. Its broad bandwidth makes it easy for birds to pinpoint the source. This helps the flock quickly locate the sentinel that is warning them. They can look in the correct direction to spot the incoming predator. In contrast, the high-frequency whistle call is very difficult to locate. It acts as a stealthy alarm that warns without revealing position. The combination of these two call types provides complete tactical flexibility. The sentinel can choose the safest way to deliver the warning note. This tactical adaptation keeps the watchdog safe from the hunting hawk. It is a highly developed defense system that protects the whole yard. The birds use these tools to maintain security in their garden. Syntax rules are also found in the calls of other bird species. Japanese great tits combine different notes to create specific warning messages. They understand the grammar rules of their own and neighbor species. This syntax allows them to coordinate their actions during predator encounters. The presence of grammar in bird calls is a major scientific discovery. It shows that language is not a uniquely human trait in nature. Other animals have evolved complex ways to share abstract ideas and warnings. By listening closely, we can hear this grammatical structure in action. We can learn to translate their notes and understand their daily lives. It is a powerful window into the minds of our garden birds. We only need to pay attention to the rules they use. The chickadee's syntax is highly flexible and responds to new situations. If a new predator enters the yard, they adapt their call. They combine notes in novel ways to describe the unique threat. This cognitive flexibility is key to their success in changing environments. They do not rely on fixed, instinctual responses to survive daily. Instead, they actively analyze the situation and create a custom message. This message is translated by the other species in the flock immediately. The entire network updates its threat database to include the new danger. This collaborative learning is a cornerstone of their survival strategy in winter. It ensures that the security network remains effective against all threats. Your yard is a place of constant learning and adaptation daily. Eavesdropping is a highly efficient information gathering strategy in nature. It allows animals to obtain security data without any personal effort. Instead of spending time scanning the sky for dangerous predators daily, a bird can simply listen to the warnings of other species. This behavior is common among diverse forest bird communities in Europe. It is especially useful for satellite species that forage near sentinels. Nuthatches, woodpeckers, and creepers are highly skilled at this eavesdropping. They monitor the chickadee's warning network to manage their own risks. This shared information resource acts as a collective safety shield daily. It allows the entire community to feed with much lower anxiety. Eavesdropping is a key component of multi-species flock survival strategy. It shows how cooperation emerges naturally from individual self-interest in wild. The red-breasted newthatch is a classic example of a skilled eavesdropper. This small bird foraging on tree trunks is highly vulnerable to hawks. Its head is often turned toward the bark while searching for insects. This posture limits its visual field and reduces its threat detection ability. To compensate, the newthatch listens closely to the local chickadee flock. It has learned to decode the exact syntax of their calls. If the chickadees emit a high D-note alarm call, it reacts. It will freeze in place against the bark to hide its silhouette. This rapid reaction saves it from being spotted by the predator. The newthatch translates the sentinel's voice into its own survival response. It relies on the sentinel's eyes to protect its own life. This acoustic translation is a vital part of its daily routine. Newthatches do not just react to the presence of an alarm, they also analyze the specific note count of the chickadee's call. If the call has only a few D notes, they ignore it. They continue foraging for insects without interrupting their daily activities. But if the call has many D notes, they take cover. This shows that they decode the precise danger level of call. They do not just hear a generic alarm and panic instantly. They extract the detailed threat rating encoded in the vocal syntax. This level of discrimination prevents them from wasting valuable foraging time. It optimizes their daily energy intake during harsh winter conditions. Their eavesdropping is highly sophisticated and scientifically precise always. Woodpeckers also participate in this backyard auditory information network. A downy woodpecker hammering on a branch makes a lot of noise. This drumming sound can drown out the approach of a predator. It also makes it difficult for the woodpecker to hear warning calls. To counter this, woodpeckers pause their drumming at regular intervals daily. During these quiet pauses, they listen for the sentinel's voice. If the chickadees are quiet, they resume their search for grubs. If they hear an alarm call, they stop drumming immediately. They will climb to the top of the tree to scan. This visual double-check confirms the threat before they take flight. Their response is coordinated with the warning network of the yard. They use the sentinels to cover their acoustic blind spots. Sparrows and finches feeding on the ground also benefit from sentinels. Ground-feeding birds are highly exposed to terrestrial predators, like cats. They must look down to find seeds in the grass constantly. This foraging posture makes them prime targets for sudden ambushes daily. But the sentinels perched high in the trees watch over them. Their elevated position offers a clear view of the ground below. If a cat approaches the feeders, the sentinels sound alarm. The sparrows hear the warning and scatter into dense thorny bushes. This rapid escape prevents the cat from completing its stealthy hunt. The ground-feeding birds rely entirely on this aerial warning system. It allows them to exploit rich feeding areas with lower risk. The evolutionary benefits of this eavesdropping behavior are massive. Vigilance is a metabolically expensive activity for any small wild bird. It requires constant muscle movement and high mental alertness daily. It reduces the amount of time spent consuming life-saving calories. By outsourcing this vigilance to sentinels, other birds save energy. They can allocate more resources to digestion, growth, and reproduction. This energy saving directly improves their chances of surviving the winter. It is an example of an informational resource driving ecological success. The warning network acts as a free public utility for community. The sentinels provide the security, and the community benefits daily. This dynamic is a core feature of healthy forest ecosystems. Heterospecific communication also helps reduce general forest panic levels. Without a reliable warning system, birds would flee from every noise. They would react to falling leaves or passing wind currents constantly. This constant panic would lead to severe metabolic exhaustion quickly. But the sentinel network filters out these false alarms daily. The sentinels only sound the alarm for real, verified threats. This reliability allows the other birds to remain calm and feed. They know that if the sentinels are quiet, they are safe. This reduces their baseline stress hormones, like corticosterone, in blood. It promotes a state of physiological health and daily restoration. The warning network is a stabilizer for the entire avian community. How do birds distinguish between different species' alarm calls? Many alarm calls share common acoustic structures and frequency shapes. They are short, high-pitched, and have rapid onset times always. These physical properties trigger automatic alert states in avian brains. The bird does not need to learn the specific species' voice. It only needs to recognize the universal physical signature of alarm. This acoustic convergence is an example of evolutionary adaptations at work. It creates a shared communication channel that spans across families. A thrush, a finch, and a chickadee all understand alarm. They share a common language of fear and warning in forests. This acoustic bridge is a powerful tool for survival daily. Some species have even evolved to mimic the sentinel's calls. Jays are famous for mimicking hawk calls to scare other birds. They do this to drive competitors away from food sources. The other birds hear the fake alarm and flee the feeders. The jay then lands and consumes the food without competition. This acoustic deception is a high-level cognitive trick in nature. It shows how birds can manipulate the information network for gain. But the sentinels are rarely fooled by these fake alarms daily. They can detect subtle differences in the mimicked call structure. They maintain the integrity of the security network, despite these tricks. Their vigilance protects the community from both predators and deceivers. Eavesdropping is not limited to birds listening to other birds. Mammals also listen to the forest warning network to stay safe. Squirrels will stop foraging when they hear a chickadee alarm call. They will climb to the safety of high branches immediately. Chipmunks and mice react to the same acoustic warning signals daily. Even larger mammals like deer monitor bird calls to avoid hunters. The sentinel's voice is a universal safety shield for forest. It connects diverse animal groups under a single, unified defense system. Your backyard is a hub for this grand ecological network daily. Every creature in your garden is listening to the same conversation. They coordinate their movements based on the updates they hear daily. We can observe these eavesdropping dynamics in our own yards daily. When a sentinel bird lands on your feeding tray feeder, watch the behavior of the other birds in the shrubs nearby. They are monitoring the sentinel's movements and calls very closely. If the sentinel feeds calmly, the other birds will approach. They use the sentinel as a safety indicator before landing themselves. This social learning is a beautiful display of avian intelligence daily. It shows that they do not operate in isolation in garden. They are constantly reading the social cues of their neighbors. By supporting the sentinels, you support the entire local flock. Your yard becomes a place of shared safety and trust daily. In the next chapter, we will look at the safety signal. We will decode the inverse of the alarm call vocabulary daily. You will learn how birds communicate security and peace to all. This is the signal that invites the whole yard to feed. It is the key to resolving our outer loop today. We will show how your reputation spreads through these positive signals. The forest watchdogs are speaking, and the whole yard is listening. Let us learn how they share their safety and warnings daily. The backyard sanctuary is a place of constant, quiet cooperation. Eavesdropping behaviors also vary depending on the season and climate. During severe winter storms, acoustic eavesdropping activity spikes significantly. The birds are highly focused on conserving their precious thermal energy reserves. They listen to warning calls to avoid unnecessary flight movements. If the sentinels remain calm, the satellites continue feeding quietly. This coordination is essential for their daily winter survival plan. The warning network acts as a buffer against environmental stress factors. It helps the flock coordinate their activities during extreme weather events. Your feeding stations are the central hub for these interactions daily. The birds gather to listen and feed in a shared space. They use the sentinel's voice to navigate the cold winter days. Studies have shown that newshatches also produce alarm calls themselves, but their alarms are less frequently used by other satellite species. They lack the broad acoustic vocabulary of the sentinel chickadees. Their calls are mostly focused on immediate, personal threats to self. They do not project as far through the forest canopy structure. Therefore, they are less effective as a public safety broadcast system. The chickadee remains the primary authority on safety in the yard. The other birds prioritize the chickadee's voice above all other sounds. This hierarchy ensures that security information remains highly reliable always. It prevents communication confusion and maintains flock order in the trees. The birds respect this social structure for their own benefit. Heterospecific cooperation is a key theme in modern evolutionary ecology research. It challenges the traditional view that nature is only about competition. Many species find that cooperation is a highly effective survival strategy. By sharing information, they create a more resilient forest community. This network protects them from predators and helps them locate food resources. It is a beautiful example of mutualism in the wild world. Your backyard is a small but vital part of this network. By supporting these birds, you participate in their cooperative survival system. You help maintain the integrity of their daily communication channels always. The birds reward you with their trust and close, peaceful presence. It is a partnership that benefits both humans and wild animals. Avian communication is not just about warning the flock of threats. It is also about sharing information about safety and abundant resources. Just as birds use alarm calls to signal danger in forest, they use specific contact calls to signal peace and security daily. These calls are the inverse of the harsh alarm vocabulary structure. They are soft, rhythmic, and have a gentle acoustic wave shape. When a sentinel bird emits these calls, it relaxes the flock. The other birds translate this signal as a safety broadcast immediately. They know that the area is free of active hunting predators. They can leave their shelters and resume feeding with low stress. This safety broadcast is a key coordinator of flock activities daily. It helps maintain a peaceful environment in the backyard sanctuary. The primary safety signal is the gentle contact call note. Chickadees use a soft, high-pitched call that sounds like seat. This call is very different from the loud chickadee alarm call. It is a quiet, reassuring sound that indicates a relaxed state. The bird emits this note while foraging calmly in the trees. It communicates to other birds that everything is normal and safe. The other species hear this note and match their behavior to it. They continue their activities without rising their alertness level daily. The contact call acts as a continuous safety heartbeat for forest. As long as it continues, the flock feels secure and relaxed. It is the baseline sound of a peaceful backyard sanctuary. Relaxed feeding postures are another critical visual signal of safety. When a sentinel bird feeds with its feathers fluffed out gently and its tail pointing down in a relaxed, stationary angle, it communicates to the yard that there is no immediate danger. Other birds watch these visual cues from their perches in shrubs. They translate the sentinel's body language into a safety rating. They conclude that the feeding station is secure and open now. This visual broadcast is just as important as the acoustic calls. It provides a secondary check on the security of the area. The combination of sight and sound builds a complete safety profile. It allows the birds to make smart decisions about when to feed. This brings us to the resolution of our outer loop A. You walk out to the feeders, and a chickadee lands calmly. It emits a series of soft, relaxed contact notes to you. Within seconds, sparrows, nuthatches, and titmice arrive at the station. This sudden gathering occurs because they translated the security broadcast immediately. The chickadee's calm presence served as a green light for all. It advertised that you are a safe provider, not a predator. The other species trusted this sentinel review and left their cover. They did not need to test your safety for themselves today. They relied on the cross-species security network to make decisions. This is the beautiful reality of your backyard reputation in action. You are recognized as a trusted partner in their survival network. Ornithologists refer to this behavior as pro-social eavesdropping in ecology. It occurs when animals listen for positive safety updates from others. This is the opposite of listening for warnings of dangerous predators. Pro-social eavesdropping is highly beneficial for finding rich food sources. A bird that hears safety calls knows where to find food. It can fly directly to the source without wasting search energy. This cooperative information sharing increases the foraging efficiency of all. It is a key driver behind the formation of mixed flocks. The birds cluster around the most vocal and reliable sentinel species. They use them as a guide to navigate the winter landscape. Your feeders are the focal point for this cooperative behavior. Scientific studies have demonstrated this positive eavesdropping in field tests. Researchers played recorded contact calls to wild forest birds in winter. The playback triggered a rapid increase in feeding activity at stations. The birds approached the feeders with much lower vigilance behaviors overall. They spent less time scanning and more time consuming energy seeds. This proved that contact calls actively lower their fear response levels. The acoustic signal shuts down the release of stress hormones directly. It triggers a shift to the parasympathetic rest and digest state. The bird's physiology responds to the sound of safety and peace. It is a powerful demonstration of acoustics driving animal behavior daily. The correct sound can transform a tense yard into sanctuary. Your reputation as a safe provider is built on these signals. When you are consistent, the sentinels classify you as safe. They broadcast this rating to the yard using contact calls daily. The other birds hear these calls and associate you with security. Over time, this reputation becomes established among the local flock. Even migrating birds will learn this reputation when they arrive here. They observe the local birds feeding calmly in your close presence. They copy this relaxed behavior and join the feeding sessions quickly. Your yard's positive reputation spreads across generations and species boundaries. It is a lasting legacy of your quiet, caring backyard actions. You become a permanent and trusted element of their natural world. How does the bird's brain integrate these visual and vocal signals? Visual and auditory inputs are processed in separate sensory brain areas. The visual Wulst analyzes the facial shapes and movement speeds. The auditory NCM processes the frequency and cadence of the greetings. These two streams of data meet in the association forebrain areas. Here, the brain constructs a unified, multi-sensory safety profile daily. If the face matches and the voice matches the template, the brain sends inhibitory signals to the emotional amygdala center. This stops the release of fight or flight hormones like adrenaline. The bird enters a state of deep somatic relaxation and peace. It can feed, preen, and rest right next to you. This integration is highly resistant to minor daily changes in clothes. If you wear a new color jacket, the voice confirms safety. If you remain silent, the face geometry provides the security check. This dual verification ensures the bird does not make dangerous mistakes. It protects them from predators while keeping them close to food. It is a highly sophisticated and reliable cognitive safety system daily. The bird's brain has evolved to solve the problem of identification. It allows them to thrive in complex human-dominated environments safely. They can exploit rich food sources without constant survival anxiety. Your yard becomes a place of true physical restoration for them. This is the ultimate goal of our guide and protocols. The safety state has profound physiological benefits for the birds. Chronic stress hormones like corticosterone weaken their immune systems over time. When stress levels drop, their bodies can fight off disease. They can control external parasites like mites and feather lice easily. This improves the quality and function of their insulating down plumage. Well-maintained feathers are essential for surviving cold sub-zero winter nights. They also improve aerodynamic efficiency during emergency escape flight maneuvers. A healthy, unstressed bird is much better equipped to survive always. By reducing their fear, you directly improve their life expectancy. You contribute to the physical well-being of your wild neighbors. This cooperative relationship is a beautiful example of symbiotic ecology. It shows that humans and wild animals can coexist in harmony. We do not have to be a source of fear. We can choose to be a source of safety and support. This choice transforms our relationship with the natural world around us. It teaches us to move mindfully and respect other life forms. The birds reward us with their beauty, songs, and trust. They bring joy and peace into our busy daily lives. This connection is a powerful reminder of our natural roots always. It teaches us to live in harmony with the wild forest. The backyard sanctuary is a testament to this shared peace daily. In the next chapter, we will look at human categorization. We want to explain how birds evaluate our movements and shapes. You will learn about the cues that trigger their warning calls. We will show how to avoid being classified as a hazard. This is the start of our inner loop C today. By adjusting our posture, we can keep the yard peaceful always. The sentinels are watching, and we must learn how to move. Let us explore the science of non-threatening human behavior in yards. The journey into avian perception is full of fascinating discoveries. Let us learn how to walk softly in their natural world. The birds are waiting to observe our next backyard steps. The safety signal is also used to coordinate group roosting behaviors. When a sentinel bird finds a warm cavity for the night, it will emit a series of quiet contact notes to flock. The other birds follow this signal and enter the cavity together. This shared warmth is crucial for surviving the freezing night temperatures. The safety call acts as a beacon for the roosting team. It ensures that no bird is left alone in cold. This cooperative behavior is a key feature of winter survival strategy. Your nesting boxes provide the perfect location for these roosting teams. The birds will use them as a shelter against freezing winds. Your garden becomes a sanctuary of shared warmth and safety. The safety signals can also change based on the season. In spring, the contact calls are replaced by complex mating songs. These songs serve both to attract mates and defend nesting territory, but they also convey general safety information to the garden flock. A singing male indicates that he is healthy and predator-free. The other birds hear this song and feel secure in area. The song acts as a continuous safety broadcast for the neighborhood. It is a signal that resources are abundant and threats are low. Your garden becomes a hub of spring music and nesting activity. The birds reward your support with their beautiful territorial songs. It is a wonderful cycle of safety and song in yard. The neurochemistry of trust is similar across many different songbird species. Safe signals trigger the release of oxytocin like hormones in brains. These hormones promote social bonding and reduce aggressive territorial behaviors. They allow birds to huddle together and share food resources. This chemical response is essential for maintaining mixed flock cohesion. It helps diverse species cooperate during the cold winter months. The safety broadcast coordinates their internal chemical states for survival. The birds enter a state of shared trust and calm daily. Your backyard protocols directly support this chemical state of peace. You help them feel safe in a complex human environment. The results are visible in their calm and trusting behaviors. Wild birds are constant observers of human shape and movement patterns. They do not view us as random objects in their environment. Instead, they actively categorize our actions based on threat-level templates. This categorization is essential for their survival in human-dominated areas. They must separate harmless gardeners from active, dangerous threats like hunters. To do this, they analyze our movement speed and walking rhythm. They note the direction of our gaze and face orientation daily. They track the position of our hands and any carried objects. This information is processed rapidly to determine their security response. A wrong classification could result in sudden, lethal capture by predator. Therefore, they use highly conservative threat templates to evaluate us. They err on the side of caution when analyzing humans. The predator template in the avian brain is ancient and powerful. It is shaped by millions of years of evolutionary survival pressure. This template contains specific visual cues that signal immediate danger. Forward-facing eyes are a primary feature of this predator template. Hawks, owls, cats, and humans all possess forward-facing binocular eyes. This eye placement allows for precise depth perception during hunts. When a bird sees two eyes locked on its body, it panics. The brain registers this gaze as an active tracking event immediately. It triggers a rapid fight-or-flight response in their nervous system. The bird will fly away or sound the alarm call instantly. This is why direct eye contact is highly threatening to them. It matches their ancient survival warning template perfectly. Sudden, jerky movements are another key trigger for warning calls. Predators often move with rapid, explosive bursts of speed during attacks. A hunting cat will freeze and then spring forward suddenly. A hawk will dive with sudden accelerating speed toward its prey. Birds are highly sensitive to these sudden changes in velocity. If you raise your hands quickly, you mimic this attack pattern. The bird's visual system registers the rapid movement as threat. It does not wait to see if you are friendly. It immediately launches a high D-note alarm call to alert others. This warning broadcast travels across the entire yard within seconds. Your reputation is marked as dangerous due to that single gesture. To avoid this, we must learn to move with slow consistency. Scientific experiments have proved that birds track human gaze direction closely. Researchers walked near wild birds while looking directly at their perches. In other tests, they walked the same path with averted eyes. The data showed that birds fled much sooner when looked at. They measured the distance at which the bird took flight in meters. This distance is called the flight initiation distance in avian ecology. The flight initiation distance was twice as long for direct gaze tests. This proved that birds evaluate the attention level of nearby humans. They know when you are looking at them and when not. This cognitive capability helps them avoid being ambushed by predators. It is a key factor in their daily security calculations. The objects we carry also affect their daily threat categorization. Birds notice if you are holding a long, thin stick object. To their brain, a stick can resemble a weapon or gun. They will show much higher vigilance when you carry these items. Even a simple garden tool like a rake can trigger alarm. They associate these large objects with unpredictable movements and noise daily. But carrying a familiar food bucket has the opposite effect on them. They quickly learn to associate the bucket with rich seed rewards, their threat rating drops, and they approach the feeders with confidence. This shows how flexible and adaptive their associative learning is daily. They update their profiles based on the items you carry. The speed of your approach is another critical factor to manage. Walking fast toward a bird signals an active chase or hunt. It reduces the time they have to react to potential danger. This triggers a rapid elevation in their baseline stress hormone levels. But walking slowly and indirectly prevents this stress spike from occurring. If you walk in a gentle zigzag pattern, you appear non-threatening. You communicate that you are not focused on their location. The bird's threat lock is released, and it remains on its perch. This simple protocol allows you to get much closer to them. It builds a sense of safety and mutual trust over time. You become a calm, predictable element of their daily landscape. This brings us to the opening of our inner loop C. How do we avoid triggering danger calls in our garden space? When you enter the yard, the sentinels evaluate your entry posture. If you stand tall and move your arms, they warn. The alarm calls broadcast a negative review of your presence today. Other birds will stay hidden in the bushes until you leave. But if you practice the slow walk and averted glance protocols regularly, the sentinels will remain quiet and continue feeding in your presence. They will broadcast positive, calm updates to the wider community. This allows the entire yard to remain active and peaceful daily. Our goal is to master these behavioral adjustments to build trust. We want to ensure the bird's database registers us as safe. Avian brains use specialized visual pathways to process these behaviors. The hyperpallium apical integrates visual features with memory and emotional centers. It projects directly to the hippocampus for rapid spatial memory mapping. It also connects to the amygdala for emotional danger classification. This network allows the bird to link movements with survival feelings. A sudden hand raise triggers immediate alarm and flight reflexes in body. A slow, rhythmic walk triggers a feeling of security and peace. This cognitive processing occurs within milliseconds of visual contact with you. The speed of this integration is essential for their daily survival. It determines whether the bird flees or remains to feed quietly. Their brains are optimized for rapid, accurate threat evaluation daily. Color categorization also plays a role in their visual processing. Birds possess 4 distinct types of color photoreceptor cones in retinas. They can see ultraviolet wavelengths that are completely invisible to humans. This means your clothing looks very different and high contrast to them. Bright, synthetic fabrics can reflect intense levels of ultraviolet light waves. This can make a simple shirt look like a neon warning. It creates a high-contrast visual shape that triggers their vigilance. The birds memorize these ultraviolet signatures along with your face geometry. They use this extra data to confirm your specific threat rating. Wearing natural, muted colors helps lower this visual contrast significantly. It makes your presence blend into the garden environment more easily. Lateralization of the brain adds another layer to their visual tracking. Songbirds process visual information differently in each eye and hemisphere. The right eye projects directly to the left brain hemisphere center. The left hemisphere manages routine, detailed task execution, and food sorting. The left eye projects directly to the right brain hemisphere center. The right hemisphere manages emergency responses and predator detection behaviors. It is highly sensitive to novel, potentially threatening visual stimuli. When a bird looks at you, the eye choice is important. A bird looking with its left eye is evaluating your danger. A bird looking with its right eye is relaxed and safe. You can monitor this head tilt to verify their trust level. If the bird turns its head to look with right eye, it has transferred your profile to its logical left hemisphere database. This shift represents a major milestone in your backyard relationship daily. It shows that the bird's brain has accepted you as safe. You are no longer processed as an active survival emergency state. This lateral processing is a fascinating aspect of avian visual biology. It shows how they coordinate different tasks within their small brains. By understanding this, we can read their internal state more accurately. We can adjust our position to accommodate their visual preferences always. This level of detail is what makes our guide so unique. It is a true science-backed approach to building backyard trust. In the next chapter, we will explore the auditory cortex. We want to explain the brain regions that process voice template. You will learn how birds isolate your voice from background noise. We will show the neural structures that manage social call updates. This is the core neurobiology behind their acoustic warning network. It explains how the caudomedial nidopallium manages safety template match. The brain science of songbirds is incredibly advanced and complex daily. Let us dive deeper into the auditory processing of these sentinels. The forest watchdogs are listening, and their brains are active now. Let us learn how they process the sounds of safety daily. The backyard sanctuary is a place of constant mental activity always. Movement velocity profiling is a highly developed skill in sentinel species. They can calculate the acceleration of a human body very precisely. A person walking with a steady pace is classified as safe, but a person who accelerates suddenly is flagged as a threat. This acceleration profile triggers immediate alarm calls from the watchdog. The flock hears this warning and escapes into the dense cover. This rapid calculation prevents them from being caught by surprise. It is a highly efficient way to manage predator detection tasks. By walking with a steady velocity, you remain safe always. You avoid triggering the warning system of your garden birds. Your movements are accepted as non-threatening by the watchful flock. Visual templates also include the orientation of the human shoulders. Birds watch whether your chest is pointing directly toward their perch. A direct frontal orientation is classified as a potential tracking stance. It matches the posture of a predator preparing to jump forward. In contrast, a side orientation is classified as a passing path. It signals that your path is not focused on their location. This simple visual distinction is processed in their hyperpallium brain region. It determines whether the bird remains on the feeder tray safely. By keeping your shoulders turned away, you build immediate confidence. It is a simple body language protocol that works wonders daily. The birds feel secure feeding right next to your side. The bird's threat database is updated continuously throughout the day. They monitor your behavior and record any changes in your patterns. If you remain consistent, your safety rating remains high in database. But a single threatening event can lower your rating quickly. This database system is essential for their long-term survival in yards. It allows them to adapt to different human neighbors over time. They can separate friendly caretakers from dangerous humans in area. This cognitive capability highlights the intelligence of our backyard birds. They are active managers of their own security and relationships daily. By understanding this system, we can build lasting bonds of trust. We can become a permanent, positive part of their world. The neurobiology of the avian auditory system is highly sophisticated and efficient. It allows birds to process complex acoustic patterns with incredible speed daily. The primary brain structures involved in this are located in forebrain. Two key regions are the caudomedial nidopallium and caudomedial mesopallium. Avian scientists refer to these regions as the NCM and CMM. These areas act as the auditory association cortex for the bird. They are highly active during social vocal communication and call processing. They analyze the unique frequency, pitch, and cadence of incoming sounds. The brain uses these structures to store vocal templates of safety. When a sound matches, it triggers a cascade of chemical responses. This system is crucial for managing their daily social interactions safely. It is the neural database behind their warning network. The NCM is especially sensitive to the voices of familiar individuals. It acts as a library of vocal signatures for the bird. When you speak, the NCM analyzes the acoustic properties of voice. It measures the specific harmonics and pitch of your vocal tract. It compares these measurements to the stored templates of safe providers. If a match is found, the NCM activates inhibitory pathways. These pathways project directly to the emotional and stress brain centers. They downregulate the activity of the hypothalamus-pituitary-adrenal stress axis. This axis is responsible for releasing flight hormones like corticosterone. Shutting down this axis allows the bird to remain calm near you. Your voice acts as a chemical anchor of safety in brain. It is a direct neural trigger for relaxation and trust. Scientific studies have tracked gene expression changes in the NCM region. Researchers monitored the expression of the Zenk gene in songbird brains. The Zenk gene is a marker for neural activity and learning. When birds heard familiar, safe voices, Zenk expression was localized. It showed that the brain recognized the sound without any stress. But hearing unfamiliar or harsh voices triggered widespread Zenk activation. This broad activation indicates a high alert state and cognitive evaluation. The brain is actively analyzing the novel sound for potential threat. This genetic response occurs within minutes of hearing the acoustic signal. It shows how deeply sound affects their molecular biology and brain. The difference between friend and stranger is coded at cellular level. The CMM works in close cooperation with the NCM structure. It helps process the emotional meaning and social context of sounds. It distinguishes between a friendly contact call and aggressive warning call. The CMM integrates the acoustic data with current environmental context cues. It evaluates whether the sound matches the visual state of yard. If the sentinels are fluffed and voice is soft, safety is confirmed. This cooperative processing builds a highly robust and error-free system. It prevents the bird from making dangerous mistakes in threat assessment. The combination of NCM and CMM ensures their survival in environments. Their auditory brain is a masterpiece of evolutionary design and complexity. It allows them to navigate a world filled with diverse sounds. How does the bird isolate your voice from background forest noise? The NCM uses highly selective neural filtering to block out static. It filters out wind rustling, running water, and traffic noise daily. This allows the bird to focus on the frequencies of interest. Your voice occupies a specific frequency band that stands out clearly. The brain tunes its auditory receptors to this band during greetings. This is similar to tuning a radio to a specific station. It maximizes the signal-to-noise ratio for your safe vocal broadcast. The bird can hear your soft greeting from 50 feet away. It recognizes your voice even when the wind is blowing hard. This selective hearing is a vital tool for maintaining social contact. Auditory templates are formed through repeated positive exposures over time. Every time you speak gently, the NCM updates its safety database. It registers the volume, pitch, and speed of your speech patterns. It links this signature to the release of calm, relaxing neurotransmitters. This is a form of acoustic Pavlovian conditioning in songbird biology. Eventually, the sound of your voice alone triggers immediate physical comfort. It allows the bird to relax its muscles before it feeds. This acoustic bond is a powerful tool for building backyard trust. It bridges the gap between different species in the yard daily. Your voice becomes a permanent positive part of their daily life. It is a sound they welcome as they search for food. This vocal recognition is especially strong in social sentinel species. Chickadees and titmice rely heavily on acoustic communication for flock survival. They have evolved complex vocal syntaxes to share real-time security data. This vocal complexity makes their brains highly receptive to human speech. They apply their advanced hearing skills to analyze your unique voice. They extract the emotional tone and safety level from your greetings. This makes your spoken greetings a key part of their day. They listen for your voice as they move through the trees. If they hear you, they know the yard is safe today. Your voice acts as a beacon of security across the garden. It coordinates their feeding routes and lowers their baseline anxiety. The auditory system also manages the translation of other species calls. When a nuthatch hears a chickadee alarm, its NCM activates. It processes the call syntax and matches it to threat templates. The brain immediately triggers the release of stress hormones like adrenaline. The heart rate spikes, and muscles prepare for rapid flight maneuvers. This cross-species translation is a highly efficient neural shortcut for survival. It bypasses the need for visual verification of the dangerous predator. The nuthatch trusts the chickadee's brain to do the visual work. This neural integration is a marvel of cooperative evolutionary development daily. It shows how different species' brains can work together in network. The forest security system is unified at the neural level. The physical structure of your voice is highly complex to analyze. It contains specific harmonic overtones and formant frequencies determined by throat. No two human voices are completely identical to their sensitive ears. Birds can detect microscopic variations in these acoustic properties easily. They can separate your voice from family members and visitors daily. They filter out ambient suburban noises like lawnmowers and barking dogs. This allows them to focus on your specific safety signal always. It shows that their auditory processing is highly selective and advanced. They tune their hearing to the sounds of safety and resource. Your voice is a unique key that unlocks their trust daily. By speaking softly, you turn that key in their brain. The development of these auditory regions is influenced by early learning. Young nestlings listen to their parents' calls inside the nesting cavity. They form their first auditory templates before they can even see. This early exposure shapes the neural wiring of the NCM region. It establishes the baseline vocabulary of their species call syntax rules, but the brain remains plastic and open to new sounds later. This plasticity allows adult birds to learn the voices of humans. They can adapt to new neighbors and identify safe food providers. It is a lifelong learning process that supports their ecological flexibility. Your garden birds are constantly updating their mental auditory maps daily. They incorporate your voice into their seasonal survival strategies always. We can support this auditory learning by using consistent vocal cues. Always speak in the same gentle, rhythmic tone when visiting feeders. Choose a specific greeting phrase to use every morning without fail. Avoid sudden changes in your volume or vocal pitch when near. This consistency makes it much easier for the NCM to match. It accelerates the formation of the positive safety template in brain. The birds will learn to recognize you much faster this way. They will welcome your voice as a reliable signal of food. Your acoustic footprint in the yard becomes a source of peace. This simple practice is a cornerstone of our backyard protocols. It is how we build a deep bond of mutual trust. In the next chapter, we will explore practical yard protocols. We want to explain how to manage your daily backyard behavior. You will learn the specific protocols that build a positive reputation. We will show how to avoid triggering the Sentinel's alarm calls. This is the resolution of our inner loop C today. By adjusting your movements, you can keep the yard quiet always. The birds will reward you with their trust and close presence. Let us explore the best ways to practice these simple habits. The journey into avian trust is highly rewarding and practical daily. Let us learn how to walk softly in their natural world. The backyard sanctuary is ready for your peaceful presence today. Auditory memory consolidation occurs during the bird's nocturnal sleep cycles. The NCM structures replay the safety voice patterns heard during day. This replay process strengthens the synaptic connections in the brain region. It locks the safe voice template into long-term memory storage. The next morning, the bird recognizes your voice with high speed. This memory consolidation is essential for maintaining social relationships in flocks. It ensures that safety templates remain stable over long periods. The bird does not need to relearn your voice every day. Its brain manages this memory storage with high efficiency during sleep. Your daily consistency supports this natural learning cycle in yard. You become a permanent and trusted voice in their memory database. Unfamiliar voices trigger a rapid auditory focus response in the brain. When a stranger speaks, the NCM and CMM activate widely. The neurons fire rapidly to decode the unfamiliar acoustic properties daily. This high neural activity is linked to a state of alertness. The bird suspends feeding and monitors the stranger's position very closely. It will not resume normal activities until safety is confirmed visually. This reaction protects the flock from novel threats in the garden. It shows how selective their auditory recognition systems are in wild. By introducing visitors slowly, you prevent this stress spike from occurring. The birds can adapt to new voices with proper, gradual exposure. It expands the network of trusted humans in your backyard sanctuary. The auditory system also interacts with the bird's vocal production center. Hearing safe contact calls triggers the bird's own singing drive. They respond to your soft greetings with their own gentle chirps. This vocal feedback loop is a key indicator of mutual trust. It creates a peaceful acoustic environment where all feel secure daily. The backyard is filled with the sounds of shared security and peace. You are communicating with them using their own neural safety channels. This connection is a beautiful display of cross-species harmony in action. It is the ultimate goal of our guide and behavioral protocols. Your voice becomes a key coordinator of their daily garden activities. The birds trust your voice and welcome your daily presence. Implementing practical protocols is the key to building a positive backyard reputation. These habits help you avoid triggering the Sentinel's danger alarm calls. Instead, they encourage the birds to broadcast positive reviews of your presence. This is the direct resolution of our inner Loop C today. By adjusting your body language, you change the yard's security rating. The birds will remain calm and continue feeding as you approach. This creates a peaceful environment where trust can thrive across species. The protocols are simple to learn, but require daily consistency always. They are based on the science of avian perception and behavior. With a little practice, they will become natural habits for you. Your yard will transform into an active sanctuary of mutual trust. The first protocol is the averted glance technique during your visits. Avoid looking directly at the birds with both eyes locked forward. A binocular focus mimics the gaze of a hunting hawk or cat. It triggers the predator template in the Sentinel's visual Volst brain. Instead, turn your face slightly away from their feeding perches. Monitor their reactions using your wide peripheral vision channel instead. This shows the bird that you are not tracking its movements. It relaxes the threat neurons in their emotional amygdala brain center. The bird will remain stationary on the branch as you fill tray. This simple adjustment builds immediate confidence and accelerates daily trust. It is a highly effective way to communicate peaceful intentions. The second protocol is the slow walk method across the yard. Maintain a constant, low-speed pace when approaching the feeding stations. Avoid sudden accelerations, halts, or jerking movements during your walk. Jerky movements resemble the strike of a predator during a hunt. They trigger immediate alarm calls from the watchful sentinel species nearby. By moving slowly, you remain below their threat activation threshold levels. The birds categorize your presence as a neutral, safe environmental element. They do not feel the urge to fly away or hide. They will continue feeding calmly as you move around the garden. This consistency is crucial for building a reliable, positive reputation daily. It teaches them that your movements are completely predictable. Vocal consistency is the third key protocol to practice daily. Choose a specific, gentle greeting phrase to use every single morning. Speak in a low, gentle, and rhythmic tone of voice always. Avoid sudden changes in your volume, pitch, or cadence levels. The birds will quickly associate this phrase with safe food rewards. Their NCM brain region will match it to the safety template. This acoustic cue prepares them for your peaceful arrival in yard. It downregulates their baseline stress hormones before you even reach feeders. They will welcome your voice as a reliable signal of security. It is a simple habit that yields massive results for trust. Speak softly, and the yard will listen with calm attention. The fourth protocol involves your clothing choices in the garden. Birds possess advanced ultraviolet vision that makes colors look highly intense. Bright, synthetic fabrics can look like flashing warning lights to them. They create a high-contrast visual shape that triggers their vigilance systems. To prevent this, wear neutral, consistent colors during backyard chores. Natural earth tones like green, brown, and gray are optimal choices. You can also wear a specific hat or jacket each time. This item acts as a clear visual anchor of safety for them. The bird's visual wulst will memorize this shape as safe. It accelerates their recognition process and prevents confusion in the yard. Your clothing becomes a visual signal of peaceful caretaker presence. The fifth protocol is the installation of a dedicated trust corner. Choose a seating area that is sheltered by natural evergreen vegetation. Avoid placing your chair in a wide-open lawn space area. Birds feel highly vulnerable to hawks when they are in open. They prefer to feed near dense branches and leafy protective cover. This cover provides an immediate escape path from air threats always. When they see you sitting in this sheltered corner, they relax. They know they can retreat to safety in milliseconds if needed. This structural security lowers their flight initiation distance threshold significantly. It allows them to observe your face from a much closer distance. Your trust corner becomes the heart of your backyard relationship. The sixth protocol is the slow blink communication method for trust. When a bird looks at you, lower your eyelids slowly. Hold them closed for 1 full second before opening them again. This slow blink signals that you are not in alert state. It breaks the intense visual lock that hunting predators always maintain. A hawk never blinks when it is tracking its target prey. Your slow blink is a clear statement of peaceful, relaxed intentions. The bird's visual brain registers this relaxed visual cue immediately. It downregulates the fear activity in their emotional amygdala center. This simple gesture helps build a deep sense of mutual peace. It is a silent language of trust between two species. Consistency in your feeding schedule is the seventh key protocol. Fill the feeders at the same time every morning without fail. Birds operate on a strict internal biological clock and route schedule. They plan their foraging routes around reliable food windows daily. If you appear at the same time, they will wait. They associate your morning arrival with their first energy meal. This anticipation increases their focus on your visual outline and voice. It helps them memorize your face and voice templates much faster. They will welcome you as a dependable partner in their survival. This daily routine forms a silent contract of trust between you. Your consistency is the foundation of their winter survival plan. How do we handle visitors or strangers in the yard? When guests visit, the bird's threat rating will temporarily rise. They do not recognize the stranger's face or voice templates. They will retreat to the safety of the trees and watch. This is a natural and healthy survival response for wild birds. Do not force them to approach when visitors are present. Allow them to maintain their comfortable flight initiation distance always. The sentinels will monitor the visitor's behavior from a safe distance. If the visitor remains calm, the alarm calls will not sound. The yard remains quiet, even if the feeders are less busy. Respecting their security limits is crucial for maintaining long-term trust. Creating physical buffer zones in your yard supports these protocols. A buffer zone is an area of dense planting near feeders. It acts as a transition space between open lawn and cover. Birds use these zones to evaluate the safety of the feeders. They will perch in the buffer zone before landing on tray. This gives them a chance to scan for predators and humans. It reduces the stress of entering an exposed feeding area significantly. Planting native shrubs like hawthorn or elderberry creates excellent buffer zones. These plants offer both protective cover and natural berry food resources. They enhance the structural complexity of your backyard sanctuary design. They make the birds feel secure at every stage of visit. The success of these protocols is visible in their daily behaviors. You will notice the birds remaining on feeders as you walk. They will not scatter into the trees when you open door. Instead, they will greet you with soft, relaxed contact notes. This shift in behavior is proof that your reputation is positive. The Sentinels have registered you as a safe, reliable partner. They have shared this rating with the rest of the flock. The entire yard operates in a state of shared security daily. This is the ultimate reward of practicing these simple protocols. You have successfully integrated into their natural communication network. Your garden has become a true haven of peace and trust. In the next chapter, we will look at mixed flocks. We want to explain the evolutionary ecology of social foraging. You will learn how species coordinate their activities in winter. We will show how this social structure resolves our middle loop B. The dynamics of these flocks are fascinating and highly organized. Let us explore how chickadees, nuthatches, and woodpeckers travel together. The story of their winter cooperation is a testament to survival. Let us dive deeper into the ecology of the forest flock. The winter birds are gathering, and they have much to teach. Let us learn how they survive the cold season together. The backyard sanctuary is a place of endless natural wonders. The 8th protocol is the maintenance of a quiet garden environment. Avoid making loud, sudden noises like slamming doors near feeders. Loud noises trigger immediate startle responses in the bird's brain. They override the safety templates and cause sudden panic flight behaviors. Instead, move quietly and perform your chores with slow consistency always. The birds will associate your presence with a peaceful yard state. They will feel secure feeding even when you are close by. This quiet atmosphere is essential for lowering their baseline stress levels. It promotes a state of physiological rest and daily physical recovery. Your quiet habits create a true sanctuary of peace and trust. The birds will reward you with their constant, close daily presence. The 9th protocol is the management of domestic pets in yard. Cats are highly efficient predators that represent extreme danger to birds. Their presence triggers high-density alarm calls and immediate forest panic. Keep your cats indoors, especially during peak bird feeding hours daily. This simple step is the most critical safety action you can take. It removes a major source of survival stress from the garden. The birds will recognize your yard as a predator-free safety zone. They will gather in larger numbers and feed with much higher confidence. Your reputation as a safe caretaker will spread much faster this way. You protect the integrity of the Sentinel's safety broadcast system. Your yard becomes a true haven of security for all. The 10th protocol is the use of natural feeder designs. Choose wooden tray feeders that allow for open binocular scanning. Avoid deep, enclosed feeders that limit the bird's visual field. Birds feel secure when they can monitor the yard while eating. Open designs allow them to see the sentinels and hear warnings. This reduces their feeding anxiety and increases seed consumption rates daily. They can feed in peace without constantly feeling trapped in feeder. This simple design choice supports their natural visual threat scanning behaviors. It enhances the overall safety rating of your feeding station design. The birds will prioritize these open feeders over other yard stations. You make their daily foraging routine much safer and more efficient. The evolutionary ecology of mixed species foraging flocks is a fascinating winter study. During the cold months, different bird species form cooperative traveling groups. These groups move through the forest, searching for food resources together. They are led by coarsenal species like chickadees and titmice. The satellite species join these leaders to form a larger flock. This social organization is a powerful survival strategy against the winter cold. It helps diverse species overcome the challenges of food scarcity daily. By traveling together, they increase their foraging efficiency and security. This brings us to the resolution of our middle loop B today. We will decode how this social coordination protects the entire community. The dynamics of these flocks are highly structured and cooperative. They are a model of ecological coordination in the wild. The primary benefit of mixed flocking is shared vigilance against predators. This concept is known as the many eyes hypothesis in evolutionary biology. When many birds forage together, the probability of detecting threats rises. A predator cannot approach the flock without being spotted by someone. If a single bird notices a hawk, it sounds the alarm. The entire flock reacts instantly, escaping to the safety of cover. This collective defense reduces the vigilance burden on each individual bird. Instead of scanning the sky constantly, they can focus on feeding. They can allocate more energy to cracking seeds and finding insects. This cooperative security directly improves their winter survival chances significantly. It allows them to optimize their daily energy intake daily. A division of labor exists within these mixed foraging flocks. Different species exploit different areas of the forest canopy structure. Chickadees and titmice forage in the outer twigs and high branches. They are agile flyers that can hang upside down to feed. Newthhatches and brown creepers forage on the vertical tree trunks instead. They search for insects hidden under the bark of trees. Woodpeckers hammer into the wood to extract deep grubs and larvae. Sparrows and juncos feed on the ground beneath the trees daily. This spatial distribution reduces direct competition for food among species. It allows diverse birds to travel together without conflict over resources. Each species occupies its own specialized ecological niche within flock. The sentinels perched high act as the primary security shield. Their position offers a clear view of the surrounding airspace. They monitor the sky for hawks while the others feed below. The satellite species trust this aerial watchman to protect them daily. They can forage in high-risk areas with much lower anxiety levels. For example, a nuthatch on a trunk has a blind spot. It cannot see a hawk approaching from the opposite side easily, but the chickadee perched above can see the threat clearly. Its alarm call warns the newthhatch before the hawk strikes. This cooperative relationship is a vital lifeline for the nuthatch. It highlights the survival benefits of heterospecific communication networks. Mixed flocks also display advanced collective decision-making processes. The direction and speed of the flock are coordinated socially. The core sentinel species lead the movement from tree to tree. The satellite species follow their path and match their pace daily. They communicate using quiet contact notes as they travel through forest. These notes keep the group cohesive and prevent individuals from straying. If a bird gets separated, it emits a loud location call. The flock hears the call and adjusts its path to reunite. This social coordination requires a high level of sensory integration daily. It shows how birds coordinate their activities to maintain group structure. The traveling flock is a unified, moving safety bubble. How does the winter cold accelerate the formation of these flocks? Freezing temperatures raise their daily metabolic requirements to extreme levels. Birds must consume up to 30% more food in winter. They have fewer hours of daylight to find these critical calories. Therefore, they cannot afford to waste time on high-alert vigilance activities. Joining a mixed flock is the most efficient way to survive. It maximizes their feeding time while keeping their predator risk low. The social structure of the flock is a direct response to winter. It is a seasonal adaptation that dissolves when spring arrives here. In spring, territorial nesting behaviors take priority over group safety, but in winter, cooperation is the only way to survive. The role of the chickadee call syntax in this coordination is key. The D note count allows the flock to coordinate their defense. If a sentinel warns of a high-risk agile pygmy owl, the flock gathers to mob the predator and drive it away. If the sentinel warns of a low-risk great horned owl, the flock ignores the threat and continues feeding with low stress. This precise reporting prevents unnecessary panic and energy waste in winter. It is a highly efficient way to manage group security actions. The syntax of the call is the operating system of flock. It guides their collective behavior and ensures their survival across seasons. The sentinel's voice is the glue that holds the flock together. Scientific research has monitored these flock dynamics using radio telemetry devices. Researchers attached tiny transmitters to birds in a mixed winter flock. They tracked their movements and interactions in real time in forests. The data showed that birds stay closer together when predators are active. They increase their vocal communication rates to share security updates constantly. The presence of a reliable sentinel keeper kept flock density high. It allowed the birds to feed in high-risk zones safely. This study confirmed that information flow coordinates the physical group structure. The warning network is the invisible framework of the flock design. It shapes their daily movements and spatial layout in forest. The birds operate as a single coordinated organism for survival. Your backyard feeding station is a prime destination for these flocks. They incorporate your yard into their daily traveling routes in winter. They arrive as a unified group, filling the garden with activity. You will see the chickadees arrive first, scanning the feeders. Then the nuthatches and woodpeckers will descend to the suet cages. Finally, the sparrows and juncos will clean up the ground below. This sequential arrival is a display of their social hierarchy rules. It shows how they coordinate their access to your food resources. By providing diverse feeders, you accommodate this natural social structure. You support their collective survival strategy at every canopy level. Your garden becomes a critical fuel stop for the winter flock. The diversity of species in these flocks is a beautiful sight. It teaches us about the interconnectedness of the natural world daily. No species survives in isolation in the harsh forest environment. They rely on each other's strengths to overcome their individual weaknesses. The chickadee offers vigilance. The woodpecker offers cavity roosting sites. The nuthatch offers trunk scanning. The sparrow offers ground alert system. This mutual support is the core of their evolutionary success daily. It is a powerful lesson in cooperation for our own lives. We can support this diversity by planting native garden plants daily. Creating a multi-layered habitat attracts a wider variety of flock members. You enhance the resilience of the entire local bird community. The winter flock is a testament to the power of community. By working together, these tiny birds conquer the freezing winter landscape. They turn a hostile environment into a place of shared security. They survive nights and storms that would kill them if alone. Your yard is a key partner in this social survival system. Your food fuels their bodies, and your shelter protects their roosts. You are an active participant in this ancient ecological partnership daily. This connection is what makes winter birding so rewarding for us. It connects us to the deeper cycles of life and survival. We learn to appreciate the intelligence and resilience of wild nature. The backyard sanctuary is a celebration of this shared life daily. In the final chapter, we will synthesize all our concepts. We want to review the integrated backyard sanctuary model in detail. You will learn how all our loops and protocols connect together. We will share final thoughts on our role as nature stewards. This is the climax and resolution of our entire guide today. The birds are waiting, and our journey is almost complete now. Let us look forward to the future of our garden sanctuary. The lessons of the sentinels will guide our actions always. Let us explore the final steps to build a lasting bond. The backyard is quiet, but the conversation continues in trees. Let us listen to the final whispers of the forest flock. Social transmission of food locations also occurs within the mixed flock. A nuthatch that finds a suet feeder will attract other birds. The chickadees observe the nuthatch's feeding activity and join the tray. They learn about new food sources by monitoring their neighbors' movements. This social learning increases the speed of resource discovery in forest. It helps the flock locate high-energy fats during cold winter days. Your feeding station is a primary destination for this social learning. The birds share information and coordinate their visits to your feeders. You support both their social learning and physical survival systems daily. This makes your backyard a critical resource for the local community. The birds learn to trust your yard as a reliable food source. The size of the mixed flock also varies with threat level. In high-risk areas, the flock density increases to maximize security. More eyes are needed to scan for hawks in open zones. In low-risk areas, the flock can disperse to reduce food competition. This dynamic size adjustment is a marvel of social behavioral coordination. The birds constantly balance the risk of predation against foraging competition. They adjust their social distance to match current security conditions daily. The sentinel's voice coordinates these shifts in group density and layout. It ensures that the flock remains organized and safe in forest. Your yard provides a stable environment where they can manage these balances. You help them feed with lower competition stress in winter. Mixed flocking also has direct benefits for younger, inexperienced birds. Juvenile birds join these flocks to learn essential survival skills daily. They copy the foraging techniques and threat reactions of older birds. They learn to decode the sentinel's syntax under adult guidance. This social learning is a vital part of their development process. It increases their chances of surviving their first harsh winter season. The flock acts as a mobile survival school for young birds. By supporting the flock, you support the next generation of birds. You contribute to the long-term health of the local population. Your yard is a classroom where wild intelligence is passed on. The cycle of life continues in your peaceful garden sanctuary. Our journey through the world of avian communication networks is now complete. We have explored the physics, biology, and neurobiology behind their daily voices. You have learned how a single sentinel bird coordinates the entire yard. We resolved our outer loop A by showing how safety reputation spreads. We resolved our middle loop B by decoding the syntax of alarms. We resolved our inner loop C by detailing practical body language protocols. All these elements connect to form the integrated backyard sanctuary model today. This model is a framework for mindful, science-backed environmental stewardship. It transforms your yard from a simple feeder station into refuge. The birds are no longer strangers. They are partners in community. This connection is the true beauty of backyard bird stewardship daily. It is a relationship built on mutual support and natural harmony. The scientific basis of our guide is grounded in ecological research. We reference peer-reviewed studies in avian bioenergetics, acoustics, and neurobiology. These studies show that birds are highly intelligent, cognitive organisms daily. They use syntax, learning, and lateral brain hemispheres to navigate threats. Their responses to human behavior are logical, calculated, and adaptive always. By understanding their biology, we can provide much better garden care. We can design habitats that meet their specific physical and social needs. Our actions are no longer based on guesswork or simple folklore. They are guided by scientific data and verified ecological principles daily. This approach ensures that our support is safe, effective, and lasting. We become true allies in their daily struggle for winter survival. Environmental stewardship is about building positive feedback loops in our neighborhoods. Your backyard sanctuary is not an isolated bubble in the community. It is connected to a larger network of local wildlife habitats. When you create a safe zone, you support regional bird populations. You help preserve the delicate ecological balance of your local town. The insects controlled by your birds protect the entire neighborhood forest. The seeds dispersed by them promote plant diversity across the county. Your daily care has a ripple effect that extends far beyond fence. It is a tangible contribution to global conservation and stewardship efforts. By protecting a single yard, you help heal the wider planet. This is the inspiring reality of citizen science and backyard care. The relationship you build with your birds is highly unique and personal. They learn to recognize your specific face outline and vocal greetings. They welcome your morning arrival at the feeders with soft contact notes. This mutual recognition is a rare and beautiful connection with nature. It is a bridge between two very different species and minds. It teaches us to observe the details of our natural surroundings. We learn to listen to the silent whispers of the forest. We become more mindful, patient, and respectful of other wild lives. This personal transformation is the greatest reward of our garden protocols. It brings deep peace and joy into our busy modern lives. We find a sense of belonging in the natural family of life. Let us review the key protocols we have detailed in this guide. Remember the averted glance technique to avoid triggering their predator templates. Practice the slow walk method to remain below their danger scanning thresholds. Use a consistent vocal greeting to activate their safety neural templates. Wear neutral, natural colors to minimize high-contrast visual exposure in yard. Install dedicated winter roosting boxes and evergreen thermal brush piles today. Provide high-lipid suet and peanuts to fuel their winter shivering furnaces. Keep a heated bird bath active to prevent dehydration and support grooming. These habits form a complete system of winter life support and trust. They are your blueprint for creating a premium, busy backyard sanctuary. The results will be visible in the activity of your garden. We must maintain these habits throughout the entire winter season, without fail. Once the birds accept your yard, they count on your support. They incorporate your feeders into their daily energetic route calculations daily. A sudden interruption in food can cause a severe survival crisis. This is especially true during extreme winter blizzards and ice storms. Be sure to fill the feeders before the storm arrives here. This allows the birds to stock up on lipid energy early. They can survive the storm inside your winterized nesting boxes safely. Your consistency is the anchor of their winter survival plan, always. It is a responsibility we must accept with care and dedication. Our consistency is what keeps the Backyard Warning Network running. The future of your garden sanctuary is in your hands today. Every small adjustment you make has a direct impact on survival. A new suet cage can save a downy woodpecker family. An insulated bluebird box can shelter 10 birds during a freeze. A slow walk can prevent a sentinel from sounding the alarm. These quiet actions are the true language of environmental stewardship daily. They are how we communicate our love and respect for nature. The birds do not speak our language, but they read actions. They translate our care into trust and close, beautiful daily presence. This is the beautiful dialogue of the backyard sanctuary, always. It is a conversation that continues every single day of year. We thank you for watching this grand episode of True Bird's Guide. If you want to explore the science of bird behavior, subscribe. We share new, highly detailed nature documentaries every single week here. Help us grow our citizen science community by sharing this video. Tell your friends how to build trust with their garden birds. Let us spread this message of safety and conservation across the world. Please share your own backyard stories in the comments section below. What species visit your feeders during the cold winter months daily? How have they responded to our safety protocols and greeting patterns? We read every single comment and love to hear your experiences. Your feedback helps us create better, more useful documentaries always. As you step back into your warm house after chores, look out the window at the busy feeders in your yard. See the chickadees, nuthatches, and woodpeckers feeding together in peace. Listen to the soft, rhythmic contact notes echoing through the branches. Know that your yard is a haven of safety and life. You have helped them conquer the harsh, freezing winter climate today. You have earned their trust and become a partner in survival. This is the true meaning of being a backyard nature steward. Enjoy the beauty and peace of your peaceful backyard sanctuary always. We will see you in our next bird science video. Until then, walk softly, listen closely, and keep eyes wide. May your garden always be filled with the sound of peace. The integration of all these protocols creates a powerful sanctuary effect. Your yard becomes a place of physical and social restoration always. The birds are no longer fighting for survival in a vacuum. They have a reliable partner who supports their daily bioenergetic needs. This partnership is the core of modern backyard conservation science. It shows that humans can play a positive role in ecosystems. We can choose to be a source of life and safety. This choice transforms our relationship with the wild forest around us. The birds reward us with their beauty, trust, and close presence. They bring joy and peace into our busy daily lives always. The backyard sanctuary is a celebration of this shared peace daily. Let us reflect on the ecological lessons we have learned today. We learned how sentinel species coordinate safety across different bird families. We decoded the complex syntax of the Chick-a-dee warning call. We explored the neurobiology of auditory template matching in songbirds. We detailed practical protocols to build a positive backyard safety reputation. These lessons are not just interesting facts, they are guidelines. They show us how to live in harmony with wild nature. They teach us to move mindfully and respect other life forms. Our yards become the interface where humans and wildlife cooperate daily. This cooperation is the key to a healthier, greener future always. We are leading the way toward a better ecological partnership. We invite you to join our growing community of bird stewards. Subscribe to True Birds Guide for more science-backed nature documentaries. Share this video with others who want to help their birds. Help us spread the message of safety and conservation across the world. Please share your own backyard stories in the comments section below. What species visit your feeders during the cold winter months daily? How have they responded to our safety protocols and greeting patterns? We read every comment and love to hear your personal experiences. Your feedback helps us create better, more useful bird guides always. Together, we can make our yards a true refuge for wildlife. Thank you for your support and dedication to nature conservation. As the sun sets and the freezing dusk returns to yard, the birds retreat to their winterized nesting boxes for the night. They huddle together, sharing warmth and energy until the dawn comes. They sleep in peace, knowing that food awaits them in morning. Your consistent care has given them the fuel to conquer cold. You have played your role in their daily thermodynamic struggle successfully. You are a true backyard nature steward, a partner in survival. May your garden always be filled with the sound of peace. We will see you in our next bird science episode. Until then, step softly, listen closely, and keep your eyes wide. Enjoy the beauty of your peaceful backyard sanctuary every single day. The Sentinel has spoken, and all is well in your yard. This sanctuary is a living proof that small actions matter. Every seed you place feeds a tiny, grateful life daily. Every clean drop of water supports a thirsty bird community. Every thick evergreen shrub shelters a family from cold wind. These small gestures connect you to the rhythm of nature. They remind us that we share this earth with others. We are not owners of the land, we are caretakers. This stewardship brings a deep sense of purpose and joy. It makes our modern homes feel like natural homes, too. The birds are our companions on this beautiful blue planet. Let us walk with them in peace and understanding always. The Sentinel has finished its evening check of the yard. The warning network is silent, and peace reigns supreme now. The stars shine brightly over your winter garden sanctuary tonight. You have created a haven where life can thrive safely. The birds will remember your face and voice tomorrow morning. They will greet you with their gentle, trust contact notes. This is the beautiful cycle of our backyard sanctuary always. We thank you for joining us on this scientific journey. May your garden always be a place of safety and life. Until we meet again, keep listening to the Sentinel's whispers. Walk softly, look closely, and enjoy the wonders of nature.